You ever have that feeling? You solve a problem, you think it's done, and then a week later, boom, it's back. It is so frustrating. It feels like you're playing a game of whack-a-mole, just fighting the same battle over and over and over again.
So why does that happen? Why does some issues feel so sticky? Imagine a machine on a factory floor that keeps breaking down. The team swoops in, they fix it, production is back up. But then, a few days later, it just grinds to a halt again. Same exact reason. What are they missing? This happens everywhere, not just in factories, but in our work, our studies, even in our personal lives.
Well, here's the thing. We're often just putting a bandage on the symptom instead of actually finding and curing the disease. We fix the obvious surface-level thing we can see, but that deep underlying cause, it's still there, just waiting to cause more trouble. But what if there was a way, a really simple way, to dig deeper?
Well, let's get into it. The solution is this beautifully simple technique called the 5 Whys. And it comes from an absolute powerhouse of efficiency, the world-famous Toyota production system.
So what is it? It's basically a method where you state a problem, and then you just channel your inner toddler and keep asking why. Seriously, each answer you get becomes the basis for the next question. You're creating this chain of logic that leads you right from the annoying symptom all the way down to the real root cause.
And get this isn't some new corporate buzzword. The founder of Toyota Industries, Sakichi Toyoda, came up with this way back in the 1930s. It became a cornerstone of Toyota's massive success, and now it's used all over the world in pretty much every industry you can think of. It is absolutely time-tested. Okay, so how does this actually play out in the real world? The best way to think about it is like peeling an onion. You got to get past all those outer layers, the symptoms, to finally get to the core of what's really going on. Let's walk through a classic example. Okay, problem. A customer's loan approval is late. First question, why? Well, the paperwork was delayed. Okay, but why was that delayed? Because the manager didn't sign it. And why didn't they sign it? Turns out they never even got the email. So why didn't they get the email? The system flagged it as spam. And finally, our 5th and final why. Why did it get flagged as spam? Because the client's email domain wasn't on the company's approved list. Boom. There it is. We found it.
And this is the magic of it all, right? The surface-level fix is just to blame the manager or rush the paperwork. But that's not a solution, is it? By digging deeper, the team didn't blame a person, they found a flaw in the process. The real fix isn't hassling an employee, it's updating the email filter. That one change prevents this exact problem from ever happening again with any client from that company. See the difference? One is a temporary patch, the other is a permanent cure.
But honestly, the 5 Whys is way too powerful to just keep it locked up in the office. You can use this logic on just about anything in your life.
For example, maybe you're a student and you bombed a test. The easy answer is, oh, I just didn't study enough. But why? I kept getting distracted. Why? My family was watching TV loudly in the next room. Why? Because I don't have a quiet place to work. Aha! Now you have a real solution. It's not just try harder, it's find or create a dedicated study space. Or at your job, a project misses a deadline. Instead of just saying people need to work faster, you ask why. And you might find that the real root cause was that nobody clearly defined who was responsible for what at the very beginning, which led to all sorts of confusion down the line.
You can even use it on yourself, right? Like, why am I always late? Because I oversleep. Why do I oversleep? Because I go to bed too late. Why do I go to bed too late? Because I'm just scrolling on my phone to unwind. See? The solution isn't just setting a dozen alarms, it's creating a better, healthier bedtime routine.
Seriously, once you start using the 5 Whys regularly, it's like you've unlocked a new superpower. It's like having problem-solving X-ray vision that lets you see right through the surface noise to the hidden structure of any issue.
And the benefits here are just huge. First off, it stops the blame game. You start fixing systems, not pointing fingers at people. It saves so much time and money because you're actually solving the right problem the first time. It also helps build way stronger teams because everyone is encouraged to be curious and open instead of defensive.
It really all just boils down to this one powerful idea. Don't just patch the leak in the ceiling, find out why the pipe burst. Don't just keep mowing the weeds, pull them out by the root. In other words, don't fix the symptom, fix the cause. So, I want you to think for a second. What's that one recurring problem in your work, your studies, or just your day-to-day life? You know the one that just keeps coming back. Now that you have this tool, what's the first problem you're going to aim your new X-ray vision at?